Hey, Bob.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the On Fire B2B podcast. It's a podcast where we take business owners and CEOs in the B2B space. 6 questions, 9 minutes, because the best know when to be concise and when to end. Let's get to it. Question number 1, in a couple sentences, tell me who you are and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Chris ACTON. I'm the founder and CEO of Coaching to Leadership. It's a company I founded after retiring from the corporate world, after spent 30 plus years in aerospace and mining, and I help people to be better leaders.
Awesome, Chris. Number 2, what is the best thing about working with businesses?
People. I love to work with people. I meet so many different people. You meet people from different walks of life with different businesses, different challenges, different opportunities, but they all want to get better. And that's really what the exciting part of it is.
That is true. Question number 3. I'm hearing from other top executives that testimonials and reviews are becoming more critical now, especially video ones. What are your thoughts?
So I think testimonials are always great. It's always good to have testimonials in front of you in any walk of life. But I think that there's nothing like a shared personal experience, and that's what you can get with a testimonial. Mm-hmm. And increasingly in this day and age, particularly in the COVID age, where there's very few opportunities to get actual face-to-face conversation and contact with people, video seems to be the way to go. I think you've got to find the right channel and the right media to get to your target audience. Increasingly, that target audience relies on video for that instant feedback. Right. I think the other thing I like about video, it's pretty easy to be insincere in writing. When you're actually on video, it's much easier to read the person that you can see, and you can see that insincerity if it's there, if it's in their eyes or in their body language. So video offers that opportunity. And I would say, if you get an opportunity at the end of if you have a positive session with a customer, and at the end you can say, hey, can I take a quick 30-second testimonial from you? At that time, if you can capture it straight away, you're going to get much more authenticity, much more sincerity and honesty. And I think it's just going to be a great thing to capture, get it up on your website, get on your LinkedIn profile, great videos.
Right. And also use them in your sales funnel too, which also helps. There we go. With 6 minutes and 52 seconds left, number 4, what advice would you give to other companies working in the B2B industry? Go.
So I think I'd cover that in 3 different areas, but I think I'd like to start first of all with, in my business, the experience I've had is there's a lot of hurry, wait. So you have to do a lot of work up front. People expect things, and then you have to wait while they go through the process of deciding. And it's usually because the decision makers are buried a couple of layers deeper down in the organization or further up in the organization than the person you're speaking to. And what you have to do is really keep on top of those people, particularly if you know you've got a good match with your services and their particular problems. And you have to be persistent. You cannot be a pest. So I try to set some rules, and it depends on the nature of the customer around how often I follow up and how do you do that. And you can do it with, I never like to go straight to a phone call unless I know the person really well. But neither do I just like to send emails all the time. I think you've got to have an appropriate balance of emails, and you leave like a couple of weeks, send your email, leave it another week or so, send your email. I think it's then okay. If you've actually emailed a couple of times, it's then okay to pick up the phone, but you don't want to be nagging people straight away on the phone. In smaller companies, I think it's a little easier to do that. And certainly if they're built on if the sale is built on, potential sale is built on a personal relationship, then you've got all sorts of different ways you can get into that. But I would always say, even with personal relationships, people are busy people. Just try and get in front of them and do it on a regular basis, and be prepared to step back. If you're not getting anywhere, be prepared to step back, and it may well come back in the future. I found that if you don't harass people, eventually people come around and they'll call you up and say, hey, Chris, or whoever, what we talked about, I've now got approval to go ahead with that. And I think the other thing to do is, if it's smaller companies, then go ahead. It's easier to do. Larger companies, it's much better because it's typically more lucrative. The bigger companies typically pay more money. So get a good balance in your portfolio as well,
right,
of customers. And I would say, related to that, I really love to get a subscription model in place. So, in my business, we're doing one-off coaching assignments, but rather than doing sort of a one-off and pay me after each session. If you can get someone to spread that income over a period of time, it does a couple of things. It actually it gives you greater control over your cash flow. It makes it easier for the customer, because instead of invoicing them time and time again, one invoice every 6 months, every month, and it's a steady flow, and it creates a bit of stickiness as well. It's easy to walk away and say, oh yeah, we're not having any coaching this month, so we won't, we'll just back off. Whereas, if I've got a subscription arrangement, they just send the money in regardless. And then we catch up with a coaching term. So your workload is a bit bumpier, but your cash flow, which is what you really want, is nice and steady. And I would say finally, the thing that I think is important is listen to your customer. You've got to let them speak. Sure, you've got to let them know what you do, why you do it, what your strengths are, but ultimately you've got to listen to them. So listen to understand. So if you listen, understand that is, don't listen just to respond with your standard sales patter. Listen so you can truly understand what their problems are and how your services match. And if you do that really well, then the need to be persistent and be a pest, not be in danger, become in danger of being a pest, is much diminished. So just
perfect. Excellent. We gotta keep going. I love what you said, but we only got 2 minutes and 52 seconds left. So question number 5, what other top CEOs and business owners in the B2B industry, like yourself, would you like to acknowledge as a leader and should be a guest on my podcast?
I would give you a couple. So Carl Thomas, he's the founder and creator of the Best Boss Ever. And incidentally, he's also a member of the International Triathlon Hall of Fame, having founded that circuit. And secondly, Christina Colosimo, she created a company called CMJ Perspectives. She's going to help people with organizational design and strategy. And she's got a great network, and she does a great work, and she's just a terrific person.
Awesome. I'll look them both up. Question number 6, Chris, most important question of the podcast. You got to focus on this one. Hey, Chris, tell me about your first time, your first sale.
My first sale with Coaching to Leadership made me realize the value of networking. I was the president of a $20 million charity here in Salt Lake City servicing the homeless. And we recruited a lady to the organization who ran some fast food franchises. And I wasn't really thinking at this time about selling. I was just telling her what I was going to do. I was retiring from the company that I'd been working for, and I wanted to set up my own business. And I described what I did. She said, hey, I've got young kids coming through from high school, from college. They have no experience apart from that. They would really benefit from what you do. So I thought, they said, let me know when you're going to be doing it. So I never thought much more of it till I actually was ready. And then I said, hey, Becky, I'm ready to go. I've started my business. And whilst there was a bit of the hurry, wait, I've now been coaching her young leaders. They're a steady stream of income for me. It's great fun. I love it. So it was just the strength of the network that did that, just keeping in touch with somebody.
Love it. Yeah, perfect. Hey, Chris, we only got 57 seconds left, and I want to give you some promo time, so go for it.
Hey, so Coaching to Leadership, we coach young leaders, as I just mentioned. I also coach executive leaders who are focusing on a particular area and want to improve their capabilities in that area. I have an online leadership training course that I run with a colleague of mine called Blue Sky Business Consulting. And we also facilitate workshops for leaders. So hence we coach to leaders. We coach people to get into leadership.
Love it there. You pulled it off. 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best know when to be concise and when to end. Your website, say it real quick.
coachingtoleadership.com.
In the description, it's magic. Chris, thank you so much for being on. Tip of the hat to you.
Thank you, sir.
And for everyone else watching or listening, make sure you check out more episodes of the On Fire B2B podcast. I am Bob Clark. Y'all have a good day now. Talk to you later. Bye.